I don't know anybody's been watching YouTube live at 7 o'clock in the morning, but I said I would do it, so I'm trying to follow through. Yesterday we did the coilover tower install. It was definitely a fun day of installs. Honestly, it was fun, but very tiring. We ran into a few problems. I have the Grimm Offroad mount, which I'm really trying to keep. It goes into the just above the driver's side wheel, up against the firewall, and we couldn't get the coilover to fit with that. I had the same problem with the Next Venture fender liners because it pokes out just a little bit. So um, my idea with Next Venture was just to cut them and then build like a little piece that comes out and then end up screwing that back in. But with the Rock Krawler coilovers, we ended up having to actually modify the ARB compressor guard a little bit in order to get it to fit. But we were able to get it to fit. The coilover towers were a little bit of a bear because you've got to drill into the top of your bump stop. Well, I guess the top of your spring towers, and to get to that, you basically have to unbolt on the passenger side. You have to unbolt your um, basically had to take the air intake out and unbolt all of that bracket so we could raise that up enough to be able to get a 45-degree drill in there. We cut one of my drill bits and made it shorter in order to at least get the. So we started the pilot holes in the top. The bit was about an inch, possibly, just to. I guess we'll go back a little bit. So we on the passenger side, the bracket um, wouldn't quite fit because of the bottom of the battery cage on my 2021 Sport Gladiator. So in order to, we had to kind of flex that up a little bit, and to get it even into place, we used a one of my adjustable wrenches has a spiked end on it. We were able to get that into the back and kind of pry up against the battery cage in order to push it up enough to actually get it mocked up. So we could take a paint marker and mark all the spots in the tower and the frame that we needed to drill the holes. Then we created the inch-and-a-half bit that we used to drill through the tower. Took everything back out, drilled our holes for the top, came back in with our it's a seven it's a 7/16 bit through the pilot holes in the bottom in order to get those holes done. Then we actually went ahead and attached those bolts, and then in the back, once those bolts were, still a little bit loose, we were able to get the holes started for the second half-inch bolt that you have to drill a hole for in the back. On the passenger side, it was about the same, except we had to modify the housing for the ARB compressor, and then do exactly the same thing. We use the the back of the wrench to kind of hold it in place, get it over the shock towers. The brake line was in the way. We had to pick that up and move it. And then we marked everything and drilled a pilot hole from the top, and then we the 7/16 up to the top. So all of that got installed yesterday. So the towers are done. Today, I'm going to be crawling underneath of it. I'm going to be cutting the old shock mount brackets out, and then we're going to be putting the new ones in. Um, we called Rock Krawler just to verify this, but because I have the wide track axles, you're going to come about 3/4 back from the C, um, and then start. the bracket edge will be right there. So I'm going to be cutting all of that, setting everything up to start welding today. We're going to be working on adjusting, because we had just welded in the Rock Krawler long arms in the front. So I'm going to loosen all that up so we can make the length adjustments for going from the 3.5 inch lift that I have now to the 4.5 inch lift that the coilover is going to give me. Um, I was expecting to possibly be able to show you guys some of that video, but I had some camera issues. Everything recorded, but I'm having to transfer all the files to the drive now, so I don't have any of that available to show. I will show you the ARB compressor mount, um, or sorry, the driver side installation with the ARB compressor mount, so I can show you what I'm talking about and what I had to unbolt. So let's see, share. Okay, so this is the Grimm Offroad mount. It's really good. I mean, I really like it because it brings the vents up above the motor up here. Um, Mounts to the firewall. Never had any problems with it until I started trying to modify everything basically here. Um, so basically, kind of loosen this up a little bit. The manifold for my lockers is right here. Had to unbolt that and kind of move that back out of the way. This is the um, guard for the port that's down here, which I haven't hooked back up yet, but I have plenty of room to rehook it. So I basically took the air port out, undid the hose. We grinded off this end of the bracket, then we drilled a hole and then basically cable tied it to the inside here. Um, and then I'll be hooking the airlines back up. When I get my fender liner back in, I'm going to cut the fender liner here and then create some bends in the metal in a separate piece of metal that are going to go around the compressor and go back to the liner. What else? Oh, here, this the windshield washer tank and this bracket that holds it. We had to loosen all of that, and basically I held everything up while we did the back hole on the mount here. So one of these holes is already drilled into the frame, and that's the hole that we were using to put the back of the wrench in to hold it into place to be able to mock everything up. And then, like I said, we marked the 3 holes on this, um, drilled, got the right angle drill in here, drilled through, and then we were able to see at least where we wanted to put our 7/16 holes. And then we basically took just our regular drill, battery powered drill from the bottom with the 7/16 in order to get those holes. Believe it or not, even though it was off at a slight angle, we only had to kind of re-drill this outer hole. Everything else lined up perfectly, and then we drilled the second half-inch hole into the frame, and we're able to mount it. So that's kind of what everything looks like now. I've got to come back in and paint and clean up some of the spots that we had to cut out and grind. Today I'm going to be taking these shock brackets off um, here and here, and then grind all that and get it bare metal. So we're able to weld it today. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Only problem is like it's literally I'm sorry, it's right here. It's literally almost directly underneath of where this bump stop is. So that's going to be interesting trying to get in there. Um, we are going to reverse the hardware on the long arms to where it goes from the inside out, because otherwise we're not going to be able to access it once we weld in the bump stops. So that's one thing you want to think about when you're installing this, is making sure that your bolts go from the inside to the center. I think right now I've got it going from the outside in. While I have these off, we're going to be adjusting all of these to the recommended lengths for the 4.5-inch lift. And then once we have the brackets welded in, I think we'll probably most likely have a full coilover install today. So I'm going to get started on that. I just kind of wanted to show you. Actually, I said I would do another live last night with some pictures, but I'm going to try to, depending on how today goes, I'll try to do another one tonight that's got some of the video clips that I took from yesterday. Um, so everybody can kind of see what was involved with it. So I think that's it. I'm going to go out in the garage and get on the floor and start cutting these brackets out. Um, Again, I don't expect anybody watching this at 7 o'clock in the morning, but it's out there for anybody that's interested in doing this to theirs or looking to see my build. Um, I've got, the Swayloc. I'm gonna have to readjust it and then get my airlines and remote hooked up to that. But I'll probably do that once we get everything installed. Um, So again, I'm doing this front and rear. So like I said, hopefully today we'll finish the front and then we'll be able to start on the rear. Uh, Again, if you like what I'm doing, we're going to Colorado July 18th, um, Colorado and Moab, and we're going to test everything out and see how it works. Uh, Another quick issue that I had. So my breather hose, wasn't long enough, which your breather hose for your differential really needs to be up here above the motor. So I needed to increase the length of that anyway. So I'm gonna have to order another hose to bring that. I'm gonna bring it all the way up to the top of the motor. It was more like a here before, so I'm gonna move that up. The airlines, I'm not sure. I have a bunch of airlines to run my Swayloc. I bought extra, so I think I'm gonna have to run a longer airline from here to the for the ARB lockers back to the compressor. Um, I think that's it. Like I said, I filmed everything. I have an install video that I will edit and put online, but those things are kind of slow because I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to editing. But I didn't shoot like a full install on this. I kind of just shot, you know, some of the steps and then also some of the problems we were having, so other people could see when they're doing their installs. Um, so yeah, I'll have that. That one should be able to. I'll be able to edit that one pretty quick and have it up. But yeah, like I said, if you like what I'm doing or you want to see how we do out west, like and subscribe. Appreciate everybody.